What's going on, everybody? Spunky Nights on One coming guys another video. Come at you guys with my Eagles Giants Week 6 preview. So we have a short week here. Thursday night football game. Eagles, of course, lost on last Sunday against the Denver Broncos, and there's been a lot of hysteria about the Eagles. Eagles losing their first game and 10 straight wins after 10 straight wins, and there's been this huge hysteria. Oh, the Eagles don't look too good right now. Is there a reason to panic in Philadelphia? And it's just like, look, man, did we look good in that Broncos game? No. The Eagles blew a 14-3 lead in the fourth quarter. No, they didn't look good. It might have actually been more than that. It might have been 17-3, yeah. I mean, but no, they did not look good. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. They did not look good. The offense the passing game was working very efficiently in the first half. And the very first drive of the second half, they scored a touchdown. After that, it was just all Broncos. And that was one of my concerns against the Buccaneers, because they played well in the first half and then struggled in the second half, and the Buccaneers came back and won that game. But with that said, there are a lot of people panicking and very concerned about the Eagles, or saying, obviously the media saying we don't look good at all this year, which I'm not gonna say we look great, but I think the team is just trying to figure out that identity, and it's still early in the season. But I don't agree with the overreaction from some fans and the media saying that the Eagles might not they may not be competing for a championship again this year. I don't agree with that. I think the Eagles they're in a transition period where they're trying to figure out their identity. We have a new offensive coordinator yet again in Jalen Hurts' career. Can't have a consistent offensive coordinator, right? As soon as we have one that does well, he gets a head coaching offer somewhere else. But that's besides the point. But for me, this game against the Giants is very important, because the Eagles need to go out there and they need to make a statement. They need to go out there and make a statement early, and they need to get this win, because the hysteria by the media and some fans, in my opinion, has been a little bit over exaggerated. The Eagles were going to lose the game at some point. I wasn't expecting the Eagles to go undefeated this year. I'm sure no Eagle fan had that expectation that we were going to win every single regular season game and then go on a run in the playoffs, whatever. I don't think anybody expected us to win every single regular season game. So they were going to lose the game at some point. Did I think it was going to be the Broncos? No. But at the same time, the Broncos are an up-and-coming team with a very good defense. And, I said it in my post-game video, congratulations to them and their fans. But I would much rather lose now than obviously lay it down the road. So it is what it is. I put that Broncos game behind me. The focus now is on the New York Giants. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley immediately after the loss of the Broncos, those guys came together, and according to reports, it was a very productive conversation. So those guys, I love to hear stuff like that. They need to get on the same page with one another. Definitely get on the same page with one another. We need those guys focused and locked in. This game against the Giants, division rival, Thursday night football, prime time, it's very important. In this game, I got the Eagles winning. I got the Eagles winning by a score of 28-21. That's my score prediction. The Eagles pull out the victory in the fourth quarter. I want to see a consistent game. I'm not saying the Eagles got to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection, but I just want to see consistent, very disciplined team. Solid attack on offense and defense, and defense as well. I would like to see a more balanced offense. I love the fact that we did start throwing the ball more. I love that. I love that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith got more touches. But don't forget about Saquon Barkley. He has not had a 100-yard rushing game yet this season, and a lot of that got to do with certain aspects because of the O-line. You got guys like Leonard Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, those guys, who have been dealing with injuries this year. Same thing with Lane Johnson. So the O-line has been very rotational so far this year due to players obviously naturally injuries and stuff. So that's played a big role in that. But yeah, I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now. I say in this game right here, Saquon Barkley gets his first 100-yard rushing game of the 2025 NFL season. That's my bold prediction. I think Saquon will have a big impact tonight. But I just want to see a more balanced attack on offense. A very it don't have to be 50-50, but maybe 60-40. Mixture of run and pass. That's what I would like to see. Run that ball, but also get your playmakers in the passing game involved as well. So I would like to see the Eagles' offense get to around that point. It don't, like I said, it don't necessarily have to be 50-50, but if it could be like 60-40 or something like that, where you're running the ball, but you're also you're getting your guys in the passing game involved as well. But yeah, I got the Eagles win this game by a score of 28-21. A quick injury report for both the Eagles and Giants this game. Tight end Grant Calcaterra has an oblique injury. He will not be playing. Guard Landon Dickinson, this is a big one, has an ankle injury. He will not be playing. Questionable is defensive tackle Jalen Carter with a heel. He's dealing with a heel injury, but I expect Jalen Carter to be playing. He was practicing yesterday. Linebacker Nakobe Dean is dealing with a knee injury, but he's been practicing. I expect Nakobe Dean to be playing. For the Giants, wide receiver Darius Slayton is out with a hamstring injury. Linebacker Sways Bozeman is out with a ankle injury. Linebacker Demetrius Flanagan Flowers is out with a hamstring injury. Questionable offensive tackle Jermaine Elamorno. I probably didn't say that right, but he's dealing with a back injury. He's questionable for this game. Though right now that's currently the injury report as is. But like I said, I expect Jalen Carter to play in this game for sure, despite the being on the injury report. Keys to victory are always the same, man. It starts with the big man up front. It starts with the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. Those guys set the trenches. In this game, our O-line will be tested. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it won't, because because the Giants front seven with guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, guys like that on the front line of the front seven of the Giants. No, these guys have Adore Carter. These guys have a very good D-line, possibly the best. I would say definitely top 3 D-lines in the league. So our O-line is going to be tested. But how do you slow down a good front seven? You run right at them. So get that running game going early with Saquon Barkley. Try to wear them down. That will open up things in the passing game. Play action pass to Dallas Goedert. And then, of course, stretch the field with guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, John Mechie, and, of course, Jahan Dotson. So, the running game will open, basically what I'm saying is the running game will hopefully open up things in the passing game throughout this game. But definitely got to have solid protection for Jalen Hurts, because, like I said, the Giants front seven, their D-line in particular, it's nothing to scoff at. It's definitely nothing to scoff at. They have some playmakers on that front line. So our O-line will be tested, which is good for them. That to have a test here early in the season. But Dexter Lawrence, Chauncey Golson, those guys on that Raheem Nunes, those guys on the Giants front seven are definitely a very good front seven of the New York Giants. So protecting Jalen Hurts is going to be extra important in this game. for the Eagles D-line. For the Eagles D-line, we have to get pressure on this young quarterback, Jackson Dart. You know, we have to make sure that we're getting in his face early and you know, pressure him very early. Try to force a young rookie quarterback to make mistakes. You know, he made quite a bit of mistakes in their game last week against the Saints. Yeah, you know, we have to get in his face and try to force a few turnovers. Take away that run game. The run game of the New York Giants with Devin Singletary and Cam I think it's Skatebo, something like that. Skatebo, I think it is. Take away the running game from him and force this young quarterback to have to, you know, to feel uncomfortable in the pocket and try to scramble and obviously, you know, lock down these corners. You know, the Eagles will still try to figure out, you know, that second cornerback spot. Last week, Kelee Ringo was getting a lot of playing time in that spot. You know, overall, I thought Kelee Ringo had some good plays. He had some not so good plays, but you know, Kelee Ringo, I expect to be getting more reps. You know, they're hoping that Kelee Ringo can eventually secure that number 2 spot. You know, it's been going back and forth between him and Adoree Jackson, you know, so far this year. But this Giants wide receiver group is very banged up. They will not have their star wide receiver Malik Nabers. Like I said earlier on the injury report, Darius Slayton will not be playing. So with those guys out, you'll have Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt could be out there. Who else? Brayus Collins is another one they have out there. Wayne Dale Robinson is another one they have out there as well. You know, secondary definitely cover these guys well. You know, if we can get the pressure on, if we can get the pressure on them early and put Jackson Dart in a uncomfortable situation, then this is a game the Eagles should definitely win. You know, the Giants, I'm not sleeping on the Giants. I don't sleep on any opponent, but overall, we are the better team. You know, we are the better team, and we should come out with a win in this game. But as we all know in the NFL, it's any given Sunday. In this case, any given Thursday. You know, so you can't sleep on anybody. And division rival, a team that knows us very well, you know, they're gonna play us, you know, as competitively as possible. You know, this team, you know, has been losing quite a bit to the Cowboys over the last, you know, 10 years. They almost beat the Dallas Cowboys earlier this season. The game went to overtime. Russell Wilson threw a interception, and of course the Cowboys capitalized and won that game. So I'm not sleeping on this team. I know that they're very capable of beating us, but the Eagles scare me the most, man. No, a lot of times we beat ourselves. You know, the penalties. You know, sometimes bad turnovers. And Jalen Hurts, one thing about him, you know, he has struggled at MetLife Stadium throughout his career. He has struggled at MetLife Stadium throughout his career, not just against the Giants, but also against the New York Jets. The first ever time the New York Jets beat the Eagles in the regular season, it was at MetLife Stadium. So, you know, hopefully that's not the case in this game. Hopefully in this game, the Eagles get the job done. They go out there and get a big win. But everybody has to do their job. Offense, special teams, defense. You know, special teams has been it has been very good this year for the Eagles. We need those guys to continue to be you know, very good for us. You know, a couple block punts would be great. Kick returns, a block field goal, that'd all be nice. You know, obviously definitely good returns to set our offense up very well. So offense, special teams, defense, we need all those guys to do their job, and we need to be disciplined in this game. If we do that, then I'm very confident we'll come away with the win. Like I said, I got the Eagles win this game 28-21, so we'll see what happens. But there you have it. There's my preview for this game. Eagles, like I said, I had the Eagles win this game 28-21. I think it's going to be a close division game. Giants will play us competitively, but the Eagles, being the more experienced team and overall the better team roster-wise, I expect us to come away with this win. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As always, go Birds. Spunky Nice Man 1 is out of here. Fly, go fly. Peace.
Mighty That's all, folks.